Hello YouTube. I don't think anybody's on here right now, so I'm live streaming to myself. That's always a good time. But as the description says, we're going to do a MedEvac over to Homer, Alaska. We got to bring the guy back over here to Kodiak. I don't know if we're going to be able to do both legs today, but I'm definitely going to try. As you can see, I'm still flying in VR. We are in the Captain Sim C-130J model, and there's that stupid connection loss thing again. I'm tired of that thing. But anyway, you guys know how I feel about Captain Sim. Not a lot of love lost there. Where's my mouse at? There it is. This thing's okay. We'll just leave it at that. It's okay. I am running the PMS-50 GPS in here. I put it up there as if it was kind of mounted up above us, just to help us out a little bit. I did get the add-on scenery for Homer as well. You can find that in the marketplace. Pretty great little scenery. As far as the Captain Sim aircraft goes, this one is okay. I've seen better. I've seen worse. I've seen worse. We'll just leave it at that. So we're just going to start off closing the entry door. We're going to go ahead and bring the ramp up back here. And now I'm no expert at this aircraft by any means, but let me just show you what we got going on here. I just got to make sure I find the right button. So if we jump up to the overhead here, oh, it looks like the, what you call it, just stays up there, huh? Well, that's not very convenient. I gotta fix for that though. Watch this. So we jump back over here, and we'll just turn it off for the moment. And when we turn it back on, it should appear in the same spot, and that way we don't have any issues with that. Okay, jumping up to the overhead. So basically your APU's up here. You can see the APU is up and running. That's where we're getting our electrical power from right now. We do not have drop tanks on, so you'll notice that these 4 lights here all stay on once we get everything going. That's because there's no drop tank. So it's just light says that the drop tanks are empty. We've got the air turbine running, and we got the bleed air set to this guy here. The engine bleed airs are off. We can do a cross bleed start with one or two, but 3 and 4 will not cross bleed, at least not in this one. They won't cross bleed start over to engines 1 and 2. So all the fuel's set up as is. We're not messing with anything here. Basically just follow the lines. That tells you where the fuel's flowing to, all that good stuff, right? So pretty straightforward, not super difficult. Everything's for the most part ready to go, except that we just need to start the engine. So these are the ignitions right here. If you click it and it goes right back up, that means something's not working right. So we'll off and back on there and see. That might be it. Oh no, I know what it is. It's these guys right here. So these are basically your condition levers. Put those all the way up. Now watch, it'll work, guarantee. Come back down here, and nope, it won't work. Okay, so nothing like trying to figure things out on live stream, right? Let's see, boost pumps are on, which is good. Boost pumps on. Not really sure what the problem is here. Bleed air is on. Maybe bleed air needs to be on these. Either on or override. We'll find out here in a second. I don't think anybody's even on here right now, so you're probably watching this as a video later on, right? Yeah, nobody's on here. Nothing like talking to yourself, huh? Let's try that. I did this earlier and it worked fine. What's the problem now all of a sudden? Good to go there. Wow, I'm not getting anything on them. Interesting. That's good, that's good. Fuel's all turned on, right? Boost pumps have to be on, not off. I know somebody's watching this right now going, this guy is lost. Yeah, I know it's not closed. Good there. That's good. Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is, to be honest with you. We'll try these in override mode, maybe. Let's try that one real quick. Oh, there it is. They got to be in override. Okay. That's the difference. All right, so we're turning on one finally. That wasn't too bad, right? I have not done a lot of manual reading on this so far, so we kind of get what we get. But yeah, we got one starting up here. So once you have engine 1 running, you can turn it, if you want, you can turn the APU off, and you can run the engine bleed air on this guy right here, and that'll start the other engines. We're not going to do that. We're just going to start them all with the APU real quick. It's going to make life a little quicker, a little easier. That one's done. Let's go ahead and get turning on 2. You could probably start more than one at a time. I'm going to talk to a buddy of mine who used to be a C-130 pilot. Awesome guy, Matty. Shout out to you, brother, if you happen to be checking this out. But I'm going to talk with him because he'll know for sure. Or if he flew this model. I don't know if he flew this model or not, but I don't know how different they are either. But he'll probably know the right procedures for everything. I'll talk with him about it. Maybe we'll pull up the one in DCS that released recently and do a little training in that one as well. Of course, this is Captain Sim, so it's not going to be quite as in-depth as something else. This is for 2020. For Microsoft 2024, the Dirty 30, I think, is in beta now, and that one's supposed to be pretty darn good. Unfortunately, it's not available for 2020, so we are stuck with, unfortunately, Captain Sim right now. I did pick up the Azure Poly C-160, which isn't bad. It's actually a really, really good aircraft, but it's a French-made aircraft, and so there were a lot of things that were confusing to me in there. So yeah, we're not going to mess with that right now. We should have plenty of fuel, so I'm not too worried about that. What else? All of our lights are on down here. We need taxi lights on. We can turn landing lights off for the moment. Come on. Boy, those click spots are sensitive, aren't they? It's kind of a pain in VR when they're really sensitive like that. Outside lights, these will not go to flash for some reason. They only go to steady. So, but outside lights are on. Obviously, inside lights are doing fine. Let's get number 4 started here. We can go ahead and put this guy to the on mode now. Not off, but on. 3 can go to on. Pitot heat's already on. Just waiting for 4 to finish spooling up. And I'm sure there's probably 50 other things I'm supposed to be doing that I don't know I'm supposed to be doing. So if you're very familiar with the C-130, feel free to jump down in the comments and tell me all the things that I've done wrong. Just be nice about it. I'm very sensitive in case you didn't know. Let's see, we don't need propeller anti-ice right now. We're going to turn these on. Just heat up the wings a little bit. We are going to go through some moisture here. And I think that's about it. We're pretty much ready to go for the most part. So let's just hop on over to the captain's seat here. We'll pull that GPS back up. There it is. Yeah, so it goes to the same spot, which is super handy. I'm going to just change the radio frequency real quick, just by a couple dots here, just because I don't want to hear them complaining that I'm not, what do you call it? No, I can't get my brain to work. That I'm not calling them on the radio. Let's get the brakes off. We've got the ramp up, the doors closed. That you open and close them with the little clipboard over here, which isn't too bad. It's fine. Gets the job done. So throw our map page up on our GPS there, and we'll start taxiing up the hill. I use, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, there's this thing called a butt kicker. Basically, it attaches to your seat, and then the software vibrates it vibrates your seat according to what's going on in the aircraft, and you can make adjustments to it and stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. I love that thing, especially in an aircraft like the C-130. Like when you're taxiing down the runway, you can feel it, or when the engines rev up, you can feel that engine in your seat. It's pretty cool, actually. So just take a look. Stream looks like it's going good there. I know there's a little bit of shakiness. I do apologize for that. I have been trying to find a solution, but I think right now I'm kind of just limited by the headset that I'm using. I'm using the Reverb G2, so it kind of limits me a little bit. I'm curious if this thing would stop taxiing up this hill. The reason I started on the taxiway where I did, oh yeah, it'll definitely stop. The Coast Guard station at Kodiak is behind me. Let me see if I can jump outside here real quick. That's kind of a cool view there. So that's the Coast Guard station, but you see those red and white little barriers there? I don't know why those are there, but because they are, I can't actually put myself at the station and taxi out. So that's why we started on the taxiway where we did. All right, things are looking good here. It's not a super long flight. Let's see, does it show us distance on this thing? 5.4 miles to where? Or is that the... I don't know where that's 5.4 miles to where. That thing's kind of new to me. I think I've used it in the past, but it's obviously been a while since I've done really anything. So if you're familiar with it, let me know down in the comments. It's really cool though, and it's free. Now there's a paid version too. You can link it with Navigraph charts and all that. I haven't done that right at the moment. That's fine. Something I'll do eventually though. All right, we are set. Flaps at 50. Autopilot is off. The trim is set. Flight controls are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We keep getting the connection lost for some stupid reason. I apologize that you guys got to keep seeing that pop up because there's no way to get rid of it apparently, unless I go into offline mode. But then I lose my real world weather, which would be kind of a bummer. So, all right, clear on the left, clear on the right. Let's get her on out here. Get the landing lights on, taxi lights off. There we go. I really like flying in VR. I know that it makes the streams kind of, I guess, a little awkward. This could be a crosswind departure for sure. And I apologize for that. But to be quite frank with you, I've been flying in VR for a while now, and I just don't want to fly on a pancake screen anymore. It's just not the same. All right, we're not super heavy, but I did do a departure on this runway earlier. Why did that get so choppy? I think I know, but let me close a program here real quick. All right, I'm really hoping that makes a big difference. I don't know, we'll see. Sometimes it's just being on the ground just makes it choppy. Let me squat down a little so I just like to be up just a little bit higher here. All right, so when we depart out here, obviously we got mountains straight ahead, so it's going to be a right turn on departure, which is the direction we need to go anyway. We're gonna keep a close eye on our speed. Obviously, we don't want to stall the aircraft. We're going to keep the flaps down for the initial part of the climb here. Make sure that we're maintaining good lift and just get her going. So let's get going here. All right, and release brakes, full throttles. I did not adjust the sliders on my pedals, and so they are super sensitive. Like, I'm just barely touching them. And of course, that wind coming off the left is making this much more fun. So, whoa, what the heck? Oh, that wind's really freaking... Okay, we're gonna have to get her up. Oh, look at that wind, guys. That was not the smartest departure. Look at how strong that wind is. Wow. I forgot to, when you do a crosswind departure, and I guarantee people are looking at this right now going, this guy didn't even know how to fly an airplane. And to be fair, I don't know how to fly this airplane. But when you do a crosswind departure, you are supposed to have the ailerons turned down to the direction the wind's coming from, and then as you're about to start rotating, you sort of straighten it out, which I didn't do, obviously. So yeah, good call on that one there, Captain Mac. Anyway, we're looking good here. We're definitely getting some speed in there. We'll take some flaps out. Climb's looking good. Little nose down trim. So we're using the GPS, obviously, is going to be helping us with our navigation here. But just so that you're aware, I've got this on nav mode here, which is GPS. This is our desired track. This is the track we need to be on, right? And you see the line there, just like a VOR, right? So we're crossing over the line you can see on the GPS, and so then it shifts, right? But we're going to be making a left turn up here anyway, which that's why the arrow jumped to the left like that. You see up here on the GPS, making that left turn at ODK, it just anticipated that is all. So nothing wrong with that. Good climb rate here. Doing good on our speed. We want to stay below 250 while we're under 10,000 feet. That's the rules, right? So we'll go ahead and back those throttles off a bit. There's 250 right there. Same thing, so we're a little left of track here, and you can see on the GPS up there we're way left of track. That's okay. We're looking good though, we're looking good. What I really like is that the HSI here, or whatever this is called, I don't think this is an HSI technically, but it's lining up with what I'm seeing up here on my GPS, so that's really good. We're gonna overshoot that a little. I need to zoom that out a little bit. That's zoomed way in. And you can use that to correct for wind as well when you're climbing. Boy, we were climbing fast too. All right, so just about on course there. It doesn't help that right now, oop, don't descend. Right now our heading bug is actually sitting right over our course. Why is it not moving here? It's supposed to be able to move. I have it mapped, but my map control to it isn't working all of a sudden. So this little arrow is what we're looking for. You can see we're left of course. That makes sense, right? The wind's coming off our left too. So we're going to be crabbing into this anyway. This tells us the distance to our next waypoint. That's right here. This is just the course we're flying. So this is wherever our nose is pointed is right here. So let's just crab into that a little bit. I'm no expert on anything. Let's get the flaps all the way up here. This thing does have an autopilot, kind of rudimentary, but it does get the job done. I'll show it to you here in a few minutes. We'll keep a nice slow climb for the moment. We're going a little fast though. Let's slow down. So right now I'm just looking here at my course line. If I didn't have the GPS to tell me where I'm supposed to be going, then I can use this thing to navigate. And I did it earlier because I found the GPS afterwards, and it worked like a champ. So you can see we're just kind of creeping up on the line, but we're still left of it. That wind's pretty strong. Does this show the wind on this thing? I don't know if it does or not. It doesn't look like it does. That's all right though. But I think we're good on the heading we're on. I think this is going to center us up a little bit. We're actually going to have to come to the right a little here eventually. We are descending a bit, aren't we? I want to slow down a little anyway. That's why I pulled the throttles back, not to descend. I want to get that speed back down below 250. So I will say, one thing that's always been true of Captain Sim is their modeling is really good, and this is no exception. You can see we're actually moving just a bit to the left side of that line now, so you can chase it a little with this thing. You don't have to have a GPS to fly this aircraft, but it is handy, I can tell you that. Alright, so we're pointed right at it right now, but that wind should move us to the right again. We should see the line here deflect to the left a little bit. This line right here, I was pointing at it. When you're in VR, you start pointing at things like people can see them. And we should see the same thing here. You see we're already drifting to the right of the line a little bit. I'm going to zoom that out a little more though. And that's just because that wind is coming off this left side over here, which we experienced in great measure when we were taking off. So we just bring it back to the left a little, and you're just trying to figure out how far into the wind you need to be crabbing. So our desired track is basically 359. We're 2 degrees off of that right now. That's probably not enough. So bring it over a little bit more. Speed's right where I want to be now, but I do want to be climbing a little faster. And so we'll do that here in a second. Just bring in a little throttle. I don't need to adjust the trim because, boy, it's a really clear day here, isn't it? Bringing in a little throttle is going to increase, as you can see, our climb rate, because you trim for speed, not for altitude, right? So it's trimmed to hold 250 knots in a very gentle climb. Add a little throttle, and it's going to start climbing more, right? Let's see what our message is on here. Set course to 359. Beautiful. All right. So we're at 357, still drifting a little bit to the right from the wind. So we'll just bring it a few more degrees over here to the left. And I'm going to bring it up to probably, I don't know, 11,000 feet, something like that. And then from there, go ahead and throw some more throttle in. Let's get this climb going, and then from there we'll kind of level off, and I'll show you the autopilot, which works pretty well actually. Again, I don't know how realistic it is, but it does work well, which is super handy. The C-160 is a lot of fun to fly too. So if you're interested in that Azure Poly C-160, great little aircraft. It's a lot of fun to fly, and they have a Coast Guard variant on that. I'm all into the Coast Guard stuff right now. Not for any particular reason, except that I really like flying around up here in Alaska, and some of the best flying that you see is done by the Coast Guard. So it's a great opportunity to just spend some time doing that. Okay, so 359 is what we need. We're going to come back over to about 355 and see how that holds us on course here, how that does for the wind. There's 9,000 feet. It'll start climbing again. You start turning, you lose lift, right? So center her up there. Anybody jump on here yet? Nope. All by myself. Streaming to myself. People will watch it later. I know some of you guys love watching these, so, and I appreciate you guys very much too. All right, 12 miles there until our next waypoint, and I just put the waypoints in with the default flight sim planner, right? So there's 10,000 feet there. Go ahead and start bringing the nose down a little bit, gain some speed. Well, I barely touch that trim, and it's just like wants to nosedive, which is funny to me. Like that was just one notch on the trim. That's all it was. There we go. All right, we're looking good. We're holding that course line pretty good. We're drifting just a little left of it, so we can come over a couple more degrees. There we go. There's one, just barely bumping the trim. So it holds altitude really, really well. We're coming up on 11,000 feet. That's where I want to settle. So let's just start slowing that climb a little bit, and we'll get her trimmed out. Now you could just throw the autopilot on, but that's not a good practice, right? I don't even know if my altimeter is set right. In fact, I'm sure it's not. The Bravo key still works for that. Yeah, you see, we're still 500 feet, 600 feet off, so a little ways to go yet. Looking good though. Coming up on our next waypoint here. You can go up on this guy. We can talk about this guy another time if you're interested. A lot of cool stuff on here, especially for a free program. So we don't have all that far to go, to be honest with you. It's a very short flight. We'll see how things go, whether or not I've got time. I shot right past 11,000 because I wasn't paying attention. We'll see if we have time to do the second leg, but I got some other stuff going on this afternoon, so we'll just see how she goes. So the autopilot on this is actually pretty cool. Come on, level off, baby. I don't mind being a couple hundred feet over, that's fine. Just trying to get her to trim a little bit. It's still increasing speed, and so it wants to climb. So the autopilot's back here. Let me go, I think it's this combo here. So it's this guy here. So we're going to turn it on, and we're going to put altitude hold on. All right. Now, if you just flip these three up, it does not engage the autopilot, which is kind of weird. So it's automatically holding heading, whatever heading you were on. And let me just jump back over to the proper view here. So the heading we were on is what it's holding. Now, if you want to turn while you're in autopilot, you use this guy right here. So I just did 8. So you see she's starting to turn to the left here, right? And so I'm just going to come left until I'm back over at about 353-ish for now. Zoom that back out. And it's holding altitude real good. So 11.5. There's 50. So bring it back, center it up. So there's 353, and I'm just trying to crab back over to that line a little bit, right? And then she just flies, and it holds. Oh, excuse me, it holds great. Now, if you turn altitude hold mode off, you can use these you can use the wheel here to climb and descend. So like when we get ready to descend, we won't just kill the whole autopilot. We'll go ahead and descend on autopilot as well. And we'll do that by turning the altitude hold off, roll the throttles back a little bit, and then we'll just use these little trim wheels right here for nose down, nose up, and set it up how we want. And it'd be easy peasy, just like that. All right, so we got 50 miles to the next waypoint, and then if you look at the flight plan, Homer is only 15 miles beyond that, right? So we're going to start our descent here pretty soon. I didn't do any descent calculations or anything like that, but it wants us to be at 3,100 feet at Komna, which is 48 miles away. We're at 11.5, so we'll probably start our descent at 40 miles. That should be fine. And we've got the same thing here, so it's 47, right? So the GPS it's a great help, but it's not a necessity in this airplane. But again, this one's free, right? So who cares? It's free. They do have the paid version, looks really, really cool. Bring these throttles back just a hair. The paid version looks really, really cool, with a lot of great added features that you don't get with the free version. But you don't need the paid version to make good use of this thing in an aircraft like this, especially where you don't have a GPS. So I really like it. Didn't require anything to put it in the aircraft. You just throw it in the community folder, and then you saw it's just on the little toolbar up there, and off you go. So easy stuff. It's funny, there's still nobody on here, so all that talking is, I guess, just for the video later on. But anyway, you shake it. Yep, see, so now we're on the line, so we need to go to the right a few degrees. So how far you turn that little knob is not the number of degrees it's turning, that's just the bank angle, right? So I let it turn a little bit. We'll let it get about 56, there we go, and then start turning it back. And I just count the number of, little clicks, and that just lets me know that I've got it centered back up, because it's kind of hard to tell whether or not that thing's centered properly sometimes. So we're inside 40 miles already. It's a very short flight. I'll look at the time when we land, and we'll see. You see we're starting to descend there now, right? So we're going to roll those throttles back. I'll look at the time when we land and see if I've got enough time to do the return leg. If not, well, that's our next live stream then. I think it'd be cool to fly. I've flown into this airfield before with the default scenery. So... Alright, speed's looking good. We'll bring the nose down a little more. I've noticed 4 notches on that is right around 600 feet per minute, give or take just a little. About 5 or 6, depending on how fast you're going. So, and we'll be below 10,000 super quick. So we're going to go ahead and roll the throttles all the way back, try and get that speed around 250. So one thing you can do, like, the thing we got to be worried about is the terrain, right? And I think this one's like right on the edge of, I think it's like on the coastline. Yeah, so if you look, like that mountain right there, we're kind of scheduled to go over the top of that right now, right? And that's probably not the best way to go. So what we can do is we can make a left turn, and then we can just come right up the... what do they call those? Fjords? Come right up through here. So, and you can move this around, obviously, as you saw I just did. So we're going to come right up through here. This is going to be our direction of approach anyway. So just so you know, if you're moving this around, you don't have to search to find your airplane again. Just hit back and it'll recenter on your aircraft. So you see what I'm doing here is I'm just using that autopilot turn knob. And I just got a gentle bank going while we're continuing the descent. We're below 250 knots. So we bring the speed back up just a little. And I'm just using the GPS because I don't have great visibility out the window. Just use the GPS. You can see we're pretty much going to skirt it now. So there we go. Center that back up. And if you're not sure if you centered it or not, just look at your two little arrows right here. If they're lined up, then you're centered. If you're off by one click on this knob over here, then your arrows aren't going to see. Like, I think we're one to the right. And if you look at our heading, we're 329. Eventually we'll be 330. So that'll confirm that we're off to the right one. And maybe it's just settling. Yeah, I think it's just settling in there. So we're descending about 1,000 feet per minute, going through just leaving 8,000 feet now. 24 miles to our next waypoint, which we're going to miss because we're going to go around it. Otherwise, we'd have to drop over the top of those mountains. I don't want to do that. Not that it wouldn't be fun, but I'm sure somebody would tear me up about the lack of realism on that. And quite frankly, I've got everything turned on for crashes and stuff, so you go nosing it over and screaming down the pipe like that, and you're probably going to end up tearing your airplane apart, and it's going to end your flight prematurely. So we'll go ahead and just avoid that for now. There's your official cough in the face. I would say that Captain Sim did a pretty good job on the modeling of this airplane. I did find the free Coast Guard livery. I think the guy who made it, I think his name on flightsim.to is Marine 1. Not sure. I did just notice there's like a silver panel there, which is interesting. Looks really good. I think it's maybe a little too clean, but other than that, it looks really good. So, did I just never turn my landing lights off? I didn't. It's alright. Who cares? Nobody's watching. Alright. Yeah, see, the clouds are kind of obscuring us here, so that's alright though. We're doing good. We're coming down to 6,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and slow it down a little bit more. We're making less horizontal distance for the same amount of vertical distance, which means we get down quicker. And I think on here should be able to go to flight plan and just skip to the next waypoint, which is Komna. Yeah, activate leg. Yeah. So now if we come back here, oh no, we were already set to go to Komna. Okay. So we want to do the same thing, but we want to activate leg here. Yes. Okay, there we go. So we are 31 miles out from the airfield, just over the tip of the land here. We'll just hop that outside view because that'll look really cool anyway. So you can see here we're just skirting the tip over here. But instead of going over all these high mountains over here and then trying to descend down the back side, we just went around them, which works out really well. And we could have come over here in the helo, but again, the scenario in this case is that the guy's in critical condition. He needs a fast MedEvac, and so the C-130 is quicker. We're just kind of pointed at the tip there, so I just want to move over just a little bit. Few more degrees. There we go. That's perfect. I do really like flying this airplane. I would say as far as a Captain Sim offering goes, this is one of their better ones, but if we're being fair, that's not saying a whole lot, right? Okay, we're going to start setting up for the approach here, so let's go ahead and turn the autopilot off. BAMSIS. There we go. All right. The reset for that stupid little blinking light is right there. There you go. Alright. So slow her down some more. You got some do not exceed speeds here. I don't know what the choppiness is all about. I guess my computer just decided to be a jerk today. So, one nice thing is when I activated the leg straight to the airfield, it activated it on this as well. So that works out nicely. Alright, go ahead and just little nose up trim there. We'll get that first setting of flaps in. We still got 26 miles to go. We're at about 2,500 feet, so I kind of want to hold this for now. Looking pretty good. Bring a little throttle in there. Just help hold it. It's socked in over there, as you can see. So that's nice. Just remember, she will try to descend when you make your turn, so just watch your vertical speed on your turn here. Flew in here in the MH60 when it wasn't the add-on scenery. It was with the default scenery, and it was socked in then too, although it doesn't look as bad today. Alright, so we're just cruising along, going good. We're slow. We could have started our descent a little later, maintained speed a little longer, but that's alright. We're doing fine. Just trying to get it trimmed out a little bit. Still wants to climb. Nobody hopped on to even say hi, huh? Well, it is Friday, so a lot of folks are still at work, I imagine. That's alright. Alright, we can see we're about to enter the Class Charlie airspace here. Yeah, she's on this side over here, and I feel like we're gonna just like be surfing the bottoms of these clouds, trying to see the airfield. I think I can see it though. I think this is the airfield right here, if you guys can see that. So, be a visual approach. She still wants to climb. I want her to come down just a little bit. I want to get back down around 2,500. You've got a radar altimeter down here as well, which is great when you're in the clouds, which we're starting to go into a little bit. Yeah, that's the airfield. Nice bright lights. Always helpful. Just get her down just a little lower. Just want to kind of get underneath the bottom of this cloud layer, just so I have good viz. The better I can see, the easier the landing will be. Slow her down a little more. And we can start configuring for landing here. I assume that's the airfield, right? I thought it was up over here, but I think it's actually right here. I need a zoom function is what we need. Alright, let's go ahead and get the landing gear down. Yeah, it's up here a little closer. That's alright. We're doing good. I think I extended the gear a little early. You're supposed to be slower than that when you extend the gear. What does it say? Gear down at 168? Yeah, we're way too fast for gear. Oops. I love flying around up here, you guys. The terrain is just absolutely gorgeous. It's just amazing flying up here. Alright, well, we did get the gear down too soon. My bad. Not the end of the world, though. Real life, you wouldn't want to do that, of course. When you put the flaps out, you get more lift, so she wants to climb for sure. Looking good on everything. Yeah, this has got to be the airfield right here, right? Alright, it should be flaps 50. That's 40. So you don't want to go beyond flaps 50 above 183. Well, we're below that already, so we're doing good. So other than the gear issue. We're doing pretty good. So when I flew in here before getting the add-on scenery, it was actually more almost on the cliff side over there. So that's interesting that it's not anymore. Alright, we're just a little low, so let's bring in a little throttle here. I don't want to climb, I just want to hold what I got. I forget where the flap indicator is in here. Oh, there it is, over there. Yeah, there's 9. Nope, that's 10. Or 100%. Alright, don't climb on me now. Yeah, it's interesting how the add-on scenery, because obviously that would be more accurate, the add-on scenery would. We are slow. Let's get that speed up just a wee little bit here. You can see where our nose is pretty high. We're alright though, we're not doing bad. We're about 115 knots. We're light, we're not heavy at all, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, get that nose over just a little bit. We're below the glide slope right now, so no need to rush down. Nice easy approach from the angle over here. I'm sure this is not the right way to do it, but we do our own thing. 120 knots, looking good. Coming onto the glide slope here, perfect. At 120 knots, our rated descent doesn't need to probably be more than about 600 feet. Maybe 700. That's pretty good. She definitely gets a little squishy on the controls when you're slow, I'll tell you that. We're looking good though. We definitely got a crosswind here. I can feel it as I'm trying to get her lined up. It's just kind of pushing me to the right a little bit. That's alright though. Took off in a crosswind, we'll land in one. Not a problem. Probably not going to have time for the return trip today. That's alright. Nice short stream. Good time hopefully for you guys. I definitely had fun, even though it's a really short flight. It's a lot of fun. There's that speed where I want it. Oop, little shaky on the controls. Nice job on this add-on scenery here, though, huh? It's kind of a steep approach. Makes sense with the trees at the end. You'd think they'd just trim the trees out. Not a very long runway. Don't float it. Throw the reverse in. Start adding some brakes. There's 90 knots. Down to 70. 60, and at 50 I'll pull the reversers back. Beautiful. I guess we just turn around on the runway. I mean, I gotta think that they've got a like a turnaround area, right? Like, this is supposed to be the actual scenery. Surely there's like a turnaround area down here. We landed the wrong direction. Tailwind. That explains why she was so squishy on me, huh? Boy, it's just a hot mess. That's alright though. Still a lot of fun. Alright, let's get her taxi back, and then we'll shut everything down. Boy, that is choppy though, isn't it? Man, I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know why my computer's doing that. Like, I've got a good system, plenty of power for all this, but boy, every time I do anything, it's just acting up like crazy. Such is life. That's the life of doing flight sim. You guys are all used to that. It was fun though. Fun little flight. Let's see if we can get that. That APU is so far up there. I don't even know if I can reach it. Oh, I left that open and everything. You're not supposed to. Oops. There we go. You gotta hit the start thing twice. I left the little flap open on the APU. That might have been that little silver thing we were seeing here. It's probably the door ripped off. I don't actually know where the APU is. It's on this side. Beautiful airplane though. Let's go ahead and get those flaps coming up. We don't need to stay on the runway forever here. Let's get this taxi done. So you should be able to zoom in and even get like see your taxiways on here. Yeah, see, you can zoom in pretty far. Yeah, you can zoom way in on this thing. It's crazy that there's a lake right there. Zoom that out a little bit. So it looks like we could park on either side. I think we'll go to the left over here. I don't think there's a Coast Guard station here officially, so that's all right though. Get the flaps the rest of the way up. We'll taxi in, shut her down real quick, and we'll call it good. APU's up and running, that's good. The long taxi. I don't know if we can go to that side. So I will say, as far as scenery goes, when I have add-on scenery, I get all these static aircraft out here. When I don't have add-on scenery, I don't get static aircraft, which is interesting. So, I mean, those are all part of the scenery, obviously, which is probably part of the reason it's kind of choppy, because I added that in here, and my system's like, what are you doing? Even though it should be fine, to be honest with you. Oh, look, connection lost again. Imagine that. And then it's back. Thanks, Microsoft. Appreciate you. Yeah, we'll take the right side over here instead. There's just so many airplanes over there. There's not a lot over here. So, I know it's Captain Sim, but hey, take what we can get, right? I hope you guys enjoyed the flight. I did. A lot of fun. Short little flight. I was going to do it with on air, but I couldn't find, like I was looking, I mean, it was cool that they had an add-on scenery here, and we'll do the flight back on a stream if you guys want me to. If you guys want me to, let me know in the comments. If not, that's not a big deal either. We'll just say that the guy died. I'm just kidding. No, but if you don't want to do the flight back, that's fine. What I really want to do is two things I want to do with this and the C-160. First and foremost is search and rescue. So Joe and I want to hook up to do some joint search and rescue where you got somebody out at sea or even on land, but they're, you know, 150, 160 miles away, something like that. I'll launch in this or in the C-160 and go do the search. Joe will launch in the MH-60 and he'll be heading out there, and once I find the individual, whoever's lost or hurt or whatever, I'll give Joe the coordinates. Well, it's a good scenery. I'll give Joe the coordinates that he can punch into the MH-60, and that way he doesn't have to search. He can just fly straight to the guy. And then I'll hang out until Joe picks him up and then fly back. That's the main thing I want to do. But the other thing I want to do too is like just little transport missions into like random tiny little airports. I want to get into some of those like really small airports, right? Stuff that's hard to land. Like I did one up in Canada. Let me turn that off. I don't remember the name of it, but man, it was just like way up there, and it was really, really cool. So, okay, APU is running. Thank you, Microsoft. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull the condition levers all the way back. So that's like the idle position there. You hear them go to idle. And then anything lower than that, because you would think you would move them this whole way, but you don't actually. This turns them off. So I was trying to get them to stop up there, but anyway, that feathers them, and so that's going to shut the engines down. I didn't park very straight, did I? There you go. Feathers the engines, feathers the props, and we've got the AP running, so we're good to go on that. And so really the only thing to do is open up the door so that we can load this guy up, And then that's going to wrap it up for us on this one. So we'll put the wheel chocks on. We'll just bring him in off the ramp back there. And where's the entry door? There we go. Just so that we can get out and stretch our legs for a minute. And that's going to wrap it up, folks. That's it. That's all and no more. I hope that you had a good time with this one. I know that I did. And so before I go, I just want to pray that the Lord blesses each one of you, that the Lord smiles upon you and is gracious to you. I thank each one of you for just taking a few minutes to watch this. I hope that you enjoyed it. If somebody's got some tips and tricks for the Reverb G2 that I can use to get better streaming, I'm absolutely all ears. I hope to make it a little smoother, but I'm going to keep flying in VR. I like it a lot better. It's a lot more immersive, and so I still want to get content out to you guys, and the best way to do that is to stream it with VR. So if you got any ideas or any tips, I am all ears, guys. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up now. That's it. That's all. No more. Until next time, as always, keep the blue side up, unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all, and have an absolutely fantastic day.